Hey collectors, welcome to Star Wars Collected. I'm Jonathan. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna walk around the house. I'm gonna show you all the different projects that I'm working on right now. All right, so we're gonna start off here actually in the gallery. Most of the time only finished products make it into the actual gallery in our house, but there's some kind of ongoing projects here. This is one of them. This guy is, this is a flight suit for a TIE pilot, and he's got a couple pieces here. I have an extra helmet down here, and I actually have a full armor piece for him and some tubes and stuff like that. So I have all the components that I need to put together a Star Wars TIE fighter pilot, which is one of my favorite costumes, but for some reason I just haven't gotten it done and haven't been able to quite motivate myself to commit all the way to that. I also have this Wrecker helmet right here. This is the first Bad Batch helmet that I printed. I got it from Galactic Armory. The first version of the files though was a little bit undersized, so I'm not sure if I'll finish this or not. If I do, I'll probably give it to my nephew or something like that, but we'll see another version of this outside later. And then a little peek literally behind the curtain here. We have a couple other helmets here and there that have paint jobs to come. Some Boba Fett helmets there, which will become other Mandalorian helmets, probably things from the Mandalorian. And then if you go all the way up top there, there's some extra Poe Dameron X-Wing helmets, and those are going to be repainted for other sequel X-Wing TIE Fighter pilots from the sequel trilogy. So now we're gonna come back here. And this part, of course, is part of the gallery, but we go through here and now we're sort of in the home gym, but we actually have a little area over here too with a lot of ongoing projects. So those of you who've been watching for a while know all about my ongoing Chewbacca build. There is some great new content for that coming, featuring both myself and Mrs. Collected, who's behind the camera right now. So look forward to that. We have this guy that I showed in one of my haul videos, Infus Nest, one of my followers on Instagram and YouTube. I think it's Slam09. He actually picked up one of these as well and repainted it, beat me to the punch, and it looks awesome, so check out his. I also have a Babu Frick back here that I 3D printed that I'm going to airbrush. I've just been trying to get more and more comfortable with the airbrushing. To the left, you see a Star Destroyer. My goal with that is to somehow figure out a great way to put this on the bottom and make it Grand Admiral Thrawn's Star Destroyer. Haven't figured out an excellent way to do that yet. I also have a bunch of these guys, a bunch of battle droid, B1 battle droids made by Hasbro. There was a while there where I was able to pick these guys up for about $5 a piece. Now they're going for about 20. I had some sort of diorama ambitions at some point. I'm not completely sure what to do with them now. So if you had, I don't know, 6 or so of these guys, what would you do with them? Let me know down in the comments. Otherwise over here, I've got a AT-ST that I could turn into a model at some point like I've done in the past. And I also have this medical frigate, which is 3D printed, that I desperately need to get painted up and mounted as well. Very cool piece, lots of really cool detail here and there all throughout. A little less visible, but underneath here are a bunch of boxes. Inside of that there's another set of Stormtrooper armor, there's some Clone Trooper armor in there, there is a Boba Fett jetpack in there, so I have plenty in there to keep me busy. Hopefully I will get into some of these projects this winter. Okay, so now we're in what is basically, well, at least used to be my home office. We don't really use it as a home office anymore, kind of a mudroom slash 3D printing room. So we come down here, we've got a couple X-Wing pilot helmet, Black Series helmets. This one is mostly repainted at this point, and I have the decal sheets to do not only this one, but a couple others. We have some things for the Mandalorian and Carson Teva. This is Dave Filoni's X-Wing pilot helmet, General Merrick. So I was being real smart and getting all these things put together and done because I figured Novos was never going to deliver any of my X-Wing pilot helmets, and now we find out that there's actually a really good chance that they are. So I may have done some work on here that I don't need to have done, but we will find out what happens with that in the future. This is a mostly finished Pre-Vizsla helmet, his more simplistic helmet. I just need to add the little decal or hand paint the little crest that goes up here on the top, and then probably go back in here and fix a couple of my little weathering issues. But a favorite character of Jon Favreau, who voiced that. This is another EFX Stormtrooper helmet. The original idea behind this was that I was going to put the Mimban Trooper shield on the front of it and then get it all muddy and that was gonna be my Min Band Trooper helmet. But the more I think about it, these are such a good version, in my opinion, a good version of the Stormtrooper helmet, that I might just 3D print a helmet if I'm gonna be throwing a whole bunch of mud on it, and then maybe keep this one a little bit more clean and repurpose it into something else. So we move on over here. This is my Ender 3 printer. I don't use this one too much anymore. I have a Ender 5 Plus upstairs, but during the pandemic, during 2020 at least, I was 3D printing a lot of things. So we have a lot of parts here for different helmets and things of that nature. I've actually taken about a month off of 3D printing recently because I have a shelf of things over here that need to be put together and finished. So we have Mandalorian blaster parts, we have Death Trooper grenades, some Clone Trooper shoulder armor, we have IG-88's head here, we have a Jedi training remote that's all the way down here. So I have a lot of catch up to do here before I move on too much. Of course, we have a Porg here. You got to have a Porg just in case. You never know when you might need a Porg. And if you go all the way up here, I have some really, really cool models. I believe these are both done by Randy Cooper. This is the the mast of a Star Destroyer, and this over here is the Super Star Destroyer. They are all built and put together, and they're primed, but they do need to be painted still at this point. So those have been sitting up there for some time now, so I need to get on that. All right, so now we're out here in my garage. Most of the time we keep cars in here, but we also seem to keep a lot of Star Wars helmets in here. I totally blame my wife, it's all her fault. So I do a lot of 3D printing. This is a helmet that we're working on right now. That's a Hunter helmet. Most of the time my finishing involves using Bondo spot putty and some filler primer, but I have been trying to use the resin more recently. So this one's getting closer and closer. It needs quite a bit more sanding and some detail work here and there, but it's coming along just fine. Let me show you all the other ones that we have in process here. This is me trying to put together a Red Leader helmet. It has been very tough to get the right yellow, right green sort of mix that it has. So I've kind of gone back and forth a little bit of airbrushing on that. This is my airbrush here. It's made by No Name, is the actual name of the compressor. And then I use a decent, I think it's Iwata is how you pronounce it, airbrush as well. But I'm really just getting into that, and something that's long overdue for me, but I'm enjoying it so far. So like I said, I use mostly Bondo and things like that. This is Ursa Wren's helmet. This is the first one that I've actually tried to use UV resin on. Mixed results. Looking forward to using that concept more and hopefully having better results. I have a big droid back here. This is pieced together. A little bit hard to line it all up. Might just reprint it all as one piece now that I have a much bigger printer, but it's a funny looking face to look at. Another X-Wing helmet here that's mostly done at this point. That is not one that Innovo's ever offered, so that is one that I will be completing and finishing. I come down here, we've got some more boxes and things. This is a Patrol Trooper helmet from Solo that is sort of in its final stages of just getting the last little bits smooth and sanded down. So looking forward to having that in the collection. This was a Commander Cody helmet that I'm converting into a Captain Vaughn helmet. That involved me having to sort of fill in the little sunburst area that Cody has to get that looking the same. But this one is a resin cast, so these are a little bit quicker to finish than a 3D print. If we come down here, we have Tech from the Bad Batch. He is very early on in the process, sort of just his first layer of Bondo on there. And this is Bo-Katan's helmet. This is also 3D print, but it's getting close to being ready for its final sand and paint. So that's coming along. Excited to add that one to the collection here. Trying to see if there's anything else in these boxes not worth talking about. All right, so now we are gonna go all the way up here. We have a Sabine Wren helmet. In the meantime, I did actually find a Sabine Wren helmet that was painted, so I'm not sure what the status is going to be of that one. This is a Captain Rex helmet, which I was pretty far along in, and the paint started to peel underneath, so now I need to go back and repaint that, which is unfortunate. We have a Crosshair helmet from the Bad Batch. We have, I think that's Imperial Crosshair helmet next to that, and then we have a Y-Wing helmet after that. If we come down real quick, we have two more Bad Batch helmets here. This is Echo, and then next to that we have Wrecker reprinted in a much larger size. All right, collectors, there you have it. This was actually a little eye-opening for me to walk around and see all of the projects that I have going on at once. Probably far too many. Let me know, what are you guys working on right now? Do you do the same thing I do, where you have multiple projects going on at once? Or do you pick one thing, complete that before picking up the next thing? If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. If you like videos like this, please subscribe. We have new videos here all the time. See ya.